what message he was trying to convey when he was yelling at Tatum to get up. He said love. But more importantly, Joe Mazzulla now says that Jayson Tatum is day-to-day with his wrist injury, said he was able to do some stuff in practice but was a little sore after game one. Can I just share a text I just got?
Please.
McCone toughness greater than Jayson Tatum toughness, which I would agree with.
Care to share who that was from?
I don't think that would be
Tim McCone.
Yeah, McCone's mom. Definitely not Jayson Tatum's mom. I'll tell you that. I don't buy that he's. I mean, day to day. We're all day to day. This is the Celtics covering for Tatum and his stupid antics the other night. And of course, Joe Mazzulla is going to say it's all out of love. And I do think it comes from a place of trying to make Jayson Tatum better. But that is Joe Mazzulla doing exactly what he should do, which is calling out Jayson Tatum for his antics, the rolling around on the ground the other night, the carrying on about the wrist injury. Enough, dude. You're not hurt. Get over it. I'm sure it's a little sore. Everybody's a little sore. You're fine. It's okay. We're not going to have to amputate, guy. I loved what I saw from Joe Mazzulla the other night. I'm not concerned about Jayson Tatum one bit moving forward. I'm not concerned about him physically.
You're nuts. I'm sorry.
You thought that
This is crazy. You're not concerned about their best player maybe having a wrist injury? Nobody loved watching him writhe around on the ground for 10 minutes. But he's their best player. They're not going anywhere without him. If he is at all limited, McCarthy, they're porked. It's over.
I said I'm not concerned about the injury. I'm concerned about his mentality, though. That's what I'm more concerned about. Like, are you ready to play playoff basketball? Or, like the revenge tour that I kept hearing about? Oh, Jayson Tatum has something to prove. Are you ready to prove that you're that guy? Because rolling around on the ground for 5 minutes the other day, kicking and screaming about your wrist, when it turns out you're fine, and your head coach isn't even letting the trainer go out there to look at you. It's like, dude, get up, and your mom wants to go to the locker room.
First of all, the head coach had no idea how significant an injury it was. It was as soft a move as it was for Tatum to be rolling around on the ground, it was the same level of hardo move by Joe Mazzulla to not allow somebody to go out and just take a look at the guy. I mean, listen, we all loved it. Everybody loves Crazy Joe Mazzulla. Mm-hmm. It's tremendous content. I love watching it. I love the tough love and the old school approach that he brings to his job. I really do. But he had no idea how injured he was. He's 150 feet away from the play. He had zero idea.
You know who is farther away? Cedric Maxwell, team broadcaster, sitting up there in the corner with Grandy and
another known medical professional. Go ahead.
And when Tatum gets up, Max says Willis Reed has gotten up. When the team broadcaster is mocking you for what you just did, and your own head coach is yelling at you, get up. Like, is this a crazy take to say that Jayson Tatum needs to be tougher? That Jayson Tatum needs to get over this? And Jayson Tatum needs to be ready to play playoff basketball. You're going to get knocked down sometime. And listen, I didn't like the foul. I didn't like the play. I'm sure it wasn't great in the moment. But after the ankle injury and the antics with that and the wrist injury the other day, I'm not concerned about him physically. I'm concerned about him mentally and where he is. Like that to me is a guy who's not ready to totally fight and totally compete the way you need to be at your absolute best. That is not McCone-level toughness from Jayson Tatum.
We've seen the Boston Celtics win an NBA championship with a healthy Jayson Tatum. Mm-hmm. Mentally tough or not. We have seen them lose an NBA championship with Jayson Tatum dealing with a wrist injury. It happened a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm not really, nobody likes the antics. Let's get that out there. It's okay, nobody likes you rolling around on the ground. Pop right up, go get it checked out, whatever you need to do. If he's hurt, if he's actually hurt, regardless of what Cedric Maxwell says, and this might be the case of the boy who cried wolf, right? If there's enough of this over time, you get people like Joe Mazzulla screaming at you from 100 feet away saying, get up. You get Cedric Maxwell poking fun at you saying, okay, you're really not that hurt guy, even though both of them had no idea. Mm-hmm. If he's actually hurt, let's leave open the possibility for a basketball player getting injured in the course of play. It's over, right? That's it. Can they win without him?
No.
Can they win without him at 100%? They're probably not going to be without him day to day. It doesn't sound like
they should be able to win with. They should be able to win with Jayson Tatum at 80%. Like he should be capable enough.
See, I disagree.
To perform at a high enough level at 80%, 90% banged up, and that's where the mentality comes in. Like, who do I trust to be better if they're only at 85% of their capacity or capabilities? Jaylen Brown or Jayson Tatum? I trust Jaylen Brown to be better in that moment because I think Jaylen Brown is mentally tougher.
But is Jaylen Brown at 85%? That's the thing. Right. This doesn't exist in a bubble. Jayson Tatum, say what you will, like he's out there. He's the guy that's played all these playoff games, and when he has an off night, he's found ways to make teammates better and things like that. Kristaps Porzingis, he's basically day-to-day as a default. Jaylen Brown's dealing with this knee injury, and they were able to win last year with Porzingis. When he played, he wasn't himself. We got that one awesome quarter in the finals. That was it. You're going to put Jaylen Brown on top of that. Like, it doesn't exist in a bubble. If you told me they had 80% Jayson Tatum and everybody else was 100% ready to go, I think they could win that way. But that's not where they're at. They're far from it. They've got other key players dealing with injuries. Tatum was the constant. When everybody else got banged up last year, Al Horford went through some of it, all of them. Jayson Tatum was the constant. And I think you need him as that constant. That's why, to the point of the injury, the fact he came back out, first trip down the floor after that play, hits a three, like that's what he needed to do. He needed to remind them he's still there because he has to be the constant. As like, Jaylen Brown didn't play late into that game. There's going to be guys in and out of the lineup over the next couple of months. That's just the way it's going to work. They need Tatum to be the steadying presence.
I don't think they can win a championship without him at something close to 100%. Especially given that we are just going to assume, I'm going to assume at least, that Jaylen Brown's not going to be close to 100%. He looked better physically the other night than he had in the past, but he had some injections. Like, how long do those last? Does he have to get them again, like, later in the spring as this run continues? I think if you assume they can win it with Jayson Tatum at 75, 80%, is to assume that the Cavs aren't that good, that the Thunder or whoever ends up coming out of the West won't be that good. This road is going to be tougher than last year's.
No doubt.
And so you need this guy to be, and it's not a shoulder, it's not a hamstring, it's not even a low back, it's a wrist. If he can't, and he's already been shooting poorly over the course of his last 7 playoff games, game 1 included, his percentages are all down over what he usually is. I don't think they can win that way this year. And so this, to me, is significant because now not only has he been playing poorly even when he's been healthy relative to his own standards in terms of shooting the basketball, and now you might have an injury on top of it that might affect his shot.
Yeah, so I don't deny one bit Tatum's importance. I'm just not convinced that this is the injury that we should be concerned about. It is the boy who cried wolf. And until I have a reason to believe that it's something more serious, day to day, we're all day to day.
But that's also just how the NBA. Did you see Brunson last night? Every trip down the floor, you'd think somebody was knocking his legs out from under him. That's just kind of just how it is in the NBA at this point, too.
So, which is why I'm not. My level of concern is not there yet with this injury. Now, let's see if he's favoring it over the course of the next few games. Then I will readjust my opinion on this, Phil. And if I have reason to believe, if I see something on the court where I say, wow, okay, this is something real, then I'll start to worry. Then I'll start to press the panic button. I'm just not going to yet because it was Jayson Tatum rolling around on the ground. Like I've seen this enough this year to say, how hurt really are you? And I don't think that's an unreasonable opinion, given I think Max and Joe Mazzulla feel the same way. So I don't think it's just the sports talk radio guy questioning somebody's toughness.